Hey, listen, I want to talk to you about some of these tax season takeaways, some of the things that have been happening this year, some interesting things. Okay, first of all, they're all good things for the regular taxpayer, right?
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
Well, there was last July, almost a year ago now, was when the one big beautiful bill came into play, and there was a lot of changes, a lot of good things happened there. So, beneficial to people who are working
and particularly in Vegas too, because of the tip thing, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of provisions. There was the new provisions for the no tax on the overtime. That could be as much as $25,000 or $12,500 each.
Right.
The no tax on tips, that was the $12,500 each. But
right.
the overtime could be $25,000.
Okay.
But the no tax on tips was $12,500 each if you're
okay. What if? Let me. And I'm going to throw. What if I got 15 and she got 8? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still under the total, even if one of us is over the 12,500. We're combined. We're still under the total.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
They called it no tax on Social Security, but it was a $6,000 exclusion of income for the taxable income of for seniors over 65.
Gotcha.
So you didn't have to have Social Security to get it. You just had to be over 65, and you could exclude $6,000 of income from that.
Gotcha. Okay. So, and then also, I know that you were talking. I know some people have talked about they're getting these notes from the IRS about getting an ID updated or verifying their ID. Which you and I were talking about. I don't really have a problem with that idea. I kind of like that idea.
Well, some of the changes that have happened this year is they've got they changed the they took away the option of getting your refund via check.
Oh,
and you have to get it only by direct deposit or get it by if you submit your tax return without a direct deposit bank account and a routing and account number on it. The IRS will send you a letter to say, hey, we don't issue refunds via check anymore. So you have to either respond to that letter and ask them to send you a debit card or give them your bank account. You sign into the IRS website. You got to form this new account called like an ID Me account,
right?
Where you have to take a video of yourself while they're sending you a code, and
holy cow!
And you send them a copy of your driver's license or your ID, and and so you got to do everything before the IRS will say, okay, yeah, that's how they're confirming people's identity. And once you do that, they'll allow you to access your account with the IRS and put in your bank account number or check that you want a debit card and what your address is and all that. So that's one thing.
So if I don't have a bank account, I got to get a debit card. I don't have a choice,
right?
Really.
I mean, anybody, like I was saying, like anybody who is maybe standing at the grocery store to pay their rent on the first of the month, or those people maybe they don't have a bank account.
Wow.
Those people are going to have to end up getting a debit card, so they don't have a way of getting a tax refund. They can't get their tax refund via the bank, and sometimes people have a hard time managing their finances, and it doesn't make sense for them to have a bank account under their circumstances. And so
they send them a card.
They don't trust the bank, so some of them.
Yeah, or the bank fees, they're always overdrafted or something like that, And so it just is, sometimes people have a hard time with their finances. And so there's that. And then the other aspect is if you're filing a tax return and maybe the IRS got another tax return, somebody fraudulently filed a tax return for you, or maybe there's other special risk factors in your tax return that's being filed. Maybe a new tax return preparer is filing it.
Okay.
Maybe there's a change in. Maybe you're married this year, or something like that. The IRS has started issuing letters to people that say, hey, you got a tax refund, but before we release your tax refund, you need to respond to this letter and verify your identity.
Wow.
And so if you don't respond to the letter, if you haven't got your tax refund, look in your mail. There might be a letter from the IRS telling you to check, verify your identity. So
interesting. I think that's a good thing. I mean,
certainly it's an effort for them to combat the fraud that they've been subjected to. So
indeed. And then, so what about you? So I think you talked about something about charity. You can do a charitable donation and still do the standard deduction.
Okay, so that's a new that provision is enacted for 2026, so it's not for the 2025.
Okay,
tax
so
year.
for next
if you
year,
got an
huh?
extended
gotcha.
tax return or something, don't try and claim this on your 25 tax return. But for 2026,
Handwrite that in.
So as of now, if you were to do it now,
Uh-huh.
you can make up to if you're married filing joint, it can do 2,000. But if you're just single, you can do a 1,000. You can make a charitable contribution to
A qualified charity.
qualified 501c3 charity. You know, my favorite one is
I was going to ask you, who would you recommend they send that
the
money
Las
to?
Vegas Rescue Mission. I'm on the board of one of the fundraiser events that they do for the Walk a Mile. It happens in October, and you know, if you were to contribute to the Las Vegas Rescue Mission, say an extra $1,000 this year, or 2,000 if you're married, you could deduct that $2,000 in addition to deducting your standard deduction for 2026. So,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
for your 2026 tax return. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So if I haven't filed by now, and
Denise.
with that, there are people out there.
So if you filed an extension, your extension runs through September.
Okay.
If for an S corporation or a partnership, and it runs through September 15th. October 15th if you're individual. Right. That's our three main things. But if you haven't filed and you didn't file an extension, get it in ASAP, because they click the penalties by month. So
Okay.
you got a couple of days left in this month, and if you
Oh,
want to avoid
okay.
the June penalties, get it filed now, because you know, and if you can't pay, still file it, because there's three penalties. There's failure to file, failure to pay, and failure to make proper estimates.
Gotcha.
And so if you fail to file, you're getting the failure to file penalty. If you fail to pay, you're getting a failure to pay penalty. And those are both running concurrently.
Right.
And so if you file your tax return, at least you're not getting that
Take that one
penalty.
out.
You only have the failure to pay penalty.
Okay.
And then a lot of times if you get into like arrears with the IRS,
Right.
if you get the actual tax paid off, they'll consider waiving their penalties.
Okay.
But so if you've got, say, a $5,000 tax liability, but after penalties now it's $7,200, pay off that $5,000, and then they'll consider waiving the $2,200.
Well, let me ask you that. I mean, and I'm thinking out loud a little bit here, Todd, but let me say I pay that off, and would that stop the penalties? If I just paid the $5,000, even if they don't waive it, would it stop the penalties, and I could just start knocking into those penalties? Would that?
Well, if you paid the $5,000, they'll still accrue penalty on penalty.
They will.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the IRS, I've long said the IRS is the exception to the rule that you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
They can't have their cake and they eat your cake too.
Okay, I get it.
So that's how it is. So,
you just don't want to mess with those guys. You just don't. I
I
understand.
There's so many pitfalls, and it's so precarious that you really need to make sure that as you're going through, you get some good guidance and direction from somebody that can help you navigate a precarious situation.